Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Journey. This is The Journey 30 and I finally managed to create an episode. Things were pretty monotonous, so I thought, let's take a break and create an episode when there is, stuff which I can share. Otherwise, it was just the usual routine, which is why it took so long to create this episode. But anyways, without wasting any time, let's get started. And there are a lot of things which I want to talk about in this episode. I'll be talking about the freelance side of things, how things are going there. Then I'll be talking about the legal requirement side of things. If you remember, there was an episode where I was, talking about that I'm learning about the different legal requirements of, setting up an agency, hiring people, creating contracts for clients, and all of that stuff. So I'll be talking about that. There are a lot of updates about that side, and I will also be talking about the things which I learned during a short break. Which you will know further in this episode, and then I will also be talking about the two new things which I'll be starting from September end or October first week. So this episode is going to be really good. I hope you get some value from it, and yeah, let's get started. So first, let's talk about the freelance side of things because most of you are interested in that stuff. So the freelance side of things, actually what happened was in August, if you just Google it, in US and especially Europe, August is kind of like a vacation month. People go on trips, and the workforce is kind of slow, and it's kind of a holiday month. So I already predicted that the revenue for that month will not be that great, and that's what actually happened. We of course did a lot of work for like 2-3 weeks, but I think for 1 week or a week and a half the client was on a break, and the September month especially is like the most busiest month for their business. So September they were like totally inactive. So I got a lot of time during these 2 months, August and September, free from client work. Like August was of course 2 to 3 weeks I had a lot of client work, but after that things were pretty inactive. So I thought, okay, let's take advantage of this time. And of course, at the end of August, I received the payment for August. I always, share it in this, share these things in these episodes so that you guys who are, starting in the freelance side of things or anything can stay motivated and all of that stuff. So of course, received the payment for August, and then I thought, okay, now I have this time in my hand. What can I do with it? So in August, I basically read this book, Your Next 5 Moves by Patrick Bet-David. I don't know if you can see it properly in the frame. So of course, Patrick Bet-David, you all might be knowing him. He's the host of the channel Valuetainment, which is like one of the best entrepreneurship channels on YouTube. So I thought, okay, let's order this book. This book was released on 18th August, so I ordered it and read it completely. It took me 1 or 2, I think around 2 weeks to finish this book. I'm not one of those speed readers who finish the book in just one day. I was slowly reading it. I read something, then I thought, okay, how I can apply this and all those things. So first I read this book, and I highly recommend this book to everyone. Basically, it's an amazing book. If you just check the reviews of this book on Amazon or any other book review website, you will just know what I'm saying, right? And maybe you will find my review also on that Amazon page of this book. So this book is pretty good. You should definitely purchase it if you are, if you want clarity in your life, that what do you want to do next and all of those things. And strategy is the favorite part of the whole business world for me. So this book was a treat for me. I just loved reading it. So this is what I did in August, the later half of August. And I also watched this show Billions because I heard a lot of good reviews about it, and it's also awesome if you are looking for a show from which you can learn something. Then that is a really good one. So basically these two were the learning sources, this book and then the show which I recommended, Billions. And then in September, like August last week or beginning of September, I thought, okay, the month of September is also going to be really slow on the client side because it's the most busiest month for their business. So I think, okay, let's use this time to do some extra work. So this thing of getting my agency registered as a sole proprietorship was just remaining since a long time. If you go back and listen to the episodes or watch the episodes, I was thinking about it since a long time, but I was just not getting the time, right? So I thought, okay, now I have the time, let's get this thing done. So I Google and YouTube a lot that how these things take place, and I finally decided to just go with this website or app which is Vakil Search. It's very popular. A lot of startups use it. You can use it to register a company, register sole proprietorship. They can handle your taxes and all those things. So I didn't do the entire process myself. I thought, okay, let's just use this, and it's really good. My review will be that it's really good. The people of Vakil Search, they are pretty helpful. They guide you through the entire process, and they make it very easy, right? Because if you want to get in these things, and if you want to do everything yourself, you will have to learn a lot on Google and YouTube and all of that stuff. It's better to just set aside some money for this and pay these guys, or you can of course hire your local CA, or if you know a CA who is your relative, or any of that stuff. But I used Vakil Search, and got my agency registered as a sole proprietorship. And a lot of you have this confusion, right? You think that I'm still doing that one-up designs thing. That was just for Indian clients, and when I was in the graphic design niche. When I shifted to social media, micro content creation, working with influencers and business brands, and when I went international, I have stopped using that name, and that thing is just pretty much gone. So now I'm using a new name, which I'll not tell now. I don't know, I just don't want to share it now, but you will know somewhere in the future, maybe by the end of this year or something. So that's what I did, got the agency registered as a sole proprietorship. And one thing which I will tell you, which I did, which I think is important, is I chose a very generic name. A lot of people do this mistake that they pick a name which has some meaning to it, and then they can't pivot. So like generic names are basically Google or Yahoo or Apple. Like they don't have a meaning which describes what the startup or what the company does. So if you pick a generic name, you can pivot a lot. So let's say 4 months down the line, I think, okay, this influencer, micro content space, social media space is not good for me, and I want to pivot like a little bit. But if I had chosen a very specific name like micro content agency or anything, then it would be very difficult for me to pivot, because the business is known by that name. So I picked a very generic name, and I will be sharing it further, like maybe after 1 or 2 months. Let's see. I just don't want to share now, but yes, that's one thing which you can learn from this. When you are starting something and you think you might pivot in future, you can pick a generic name, because that then gives you a lot of air cover to pivot, and then do whatever you want to do. So that's what I did. And then the next thing was, of course, getting a current account for my agency, because if a current account is really good for handling business. Basically you can separate your business and your personal finances, and of course if you are dealing in large volumes, or if you want to expand your clients or anything, a current account is really helpful. So that was the next step, after I got the registration done. And basically if you want to register sole proprietorship, there are a lot of ways you can do that, maybe like 3 or 4 ways, but the most popular, and I think this one is like pretty much compulsory for new businesses now, it's GST. You get your GST number, you register your sole proprietorship that way. MSME used to work till like previous year, or I don't know the exact time, but now that also doesn't work. Like you can register an MSME, but it's like that alone is not enough for you to get a current account in any bank. Most popular is GST, and so I got that. That's how I registered the sole proprietorship. All of the work was handled by the Vakil Search team or whatever, and I just gave them the documents and stuff. So if you are looking to register something, or if you want some legal help, you can check them out. This is not a sponsored video. Whenever I recommend something, a product or a service, you might think that it's sponsored. I did this one video where I was talking about Anchor and how you can start a podcast, and there were 2-3 comments in the comment section that were saying kitne paise mile video ke and everything. It was not a sponsored video, and I clearly said that in that video also, and in this video also I'm saying this is not a sponsored video. It's just that if I'm documenting my journey, I have to share with you which services I used, what was the process and stuff like that. So That's it for that part. The current account application is currently in process. The sole proprietorship thing is done. Currently, I'm in the process of opening a current account, and this is the time to tell you an interesting story. So after I received my GST number and the sole proprietorship was registered, I applied for a current account. The application was online, and then two bank officials or representatives or whatever you want to say came to my house for in-person verification. And I had this thought in mind that what if they judge me by my age, or what if they judge me by the fact that I don't have any proper office. It's just this, it's like an online business. But anyways, I thought, okay, this is like a situation where I have to sell myself to them that I am eligible for a current account and that they should definitely approve my application and stuff like that. So I had all the things ready. It was like I was getting ready for a sales presentation and stuff. And I think I'll attach a screenshot to a tweet here. It was like an hour or hour and a half meeting, because they were asking a lot of questions, and I was showing them what I do, showed them the PayPal sales insights, of course. And currently I'm standing a little about 2.5 lakhs in revenue till now, not per month. A lot of you might think it's per month. It's not per month. Like over the last 5 months in total, the revenue has been a little above 250k INR, not USD. So I showed them that and different stuff, and according to me they were pretty satisfied with everything, and I think it should get approved. But let's see, whatever happens, I will keep you posted. And you can follow me on Twitter for all these things. The screenshot which I shared, I don't share these things on other platforms. Like Twitter is a very good community. Basically it's just if you follow the right people, of course. It's just in my following or in my community, it's just entrepreneurs or people in the tech industry, or young people who are doing something good. Not like Instagram where a lot of crowd is there. I just don't even want to go into that topic. But you can follow me on Twitter, and I share these things there, not on other platforms. So that was the thing. I hope the application gets approved. But it was really fun, 90-minute meeting, convincing bank officials that yes, I know I'm 18, but hey, I'm generating a lot of revenue. You should give me a current account. So it was really, really interesting. I hope I had a D-Dog or something who could have not recorded of course, but sort of got the B-rolls of the whole meeting or stuff. But anyways, that was the thing. And then now let me talk about the two new things which I'll be starting from this month's end, basically. So you might be knowing that I'm in the Avalon community since a long time. I have talked about them a lot of times in the previous episodes. So basically, it's a company which is Avalon Meta, and they have this section called Pro Leagues, in which they upskill you, like they take you under their wing and they personally mentor you and mentor you about a particular skill. So there are a lot of Pro Leagues. I have enrolled in 2 Pro Leagues. One is the Sales Pro League. The reason for that is that I want to grow my agency. Once this current account thing gets all set up, then I want to get new clients. So for that, I need to be really, really good at sales. I know like a little bit, but I don't know a lot about sales. I'll not lie to you. Just because I was able to get one client on a retainer doesn't mean that I know a lot about sales. So I will be learning about sales. It's like a 3-month, I will not say course, but a 3-month, collaboration where the mentors will be teaching you about sales, constant feedback loops. You can ask them questions specific to your business also. And so it's going to be great. The second Pro League, which I'm a part of, is the Game and Experience Design Pro League. And the reason I enrolled in that is actually something different. So this is the question I asked myself, right, when I was thinking to myself that should I upskill in all these areas or not. So the obvious question which came in my mind was, hey, this freelancing thing is working great. These things will take time out of it, so you will not be able to generate more income or do more for your business. But I asked myself this, these things are really unpredictable, and basically the whole business world is very unpredictable in a particular context. Things can get bad anytime, and it's not like a guarantee that you are going to keep generating large chunks of revenues and all that stuff. 80% of businesses fail, all those things. So I asked myself this: if everything goes to shit, if everything literally goes to zero, how quickly can I build myself back up financially? And the answer to that was, if you want to build yourself back up pretty quickly, then you have to learn the relevant skills, the new age skills. Because let's say if literally everything goes to zero and you are like, okay, now what I do, in order to start something I need some money. Then if you don't have the skills, you will have to go into that struggle story kind of thing, that you are working for a very low paying job and things are taking a lot of time. So I thought, okay, the better way will be to just upskill myself, because I have a lot of time, right? As Gary Vee says, you have to be patient. So I'm just 18 right now, so if I upskill myself and pick 2 3 skills and add them to my arsenal, it's going to be really easy for me to build myself back up very quickly if something like that happens, or if the need arises in the future. So the game design pro league seemed the most interesting to me. Other pro leagues were also there, but I thought, okay, I really want to learn from Varun. He's like really good. So spending 1 year with him is definitely worth the cost. And game design, it's like a futuristic skill. Even if I don't require that skill for money, I can start something entrepreneurial around that. Maybe create a game or something. These are just my initial thoughts. They will change with time, but that's why I have enrolled in these 2 pro leagues. The sales is really for helping me in my current business, the freelancing side of things. And okay, wait. Yeah, so the sales pro league is to help me get more clients, and the game design pro league is to really just upskill myself. Of course, sales is also a great skill to add in your arsenal of skills, but game design is the other one. So these two things, skills I'll be learning. One will be over the next 3 months, so basically the last quarter of 2020, and the other will be for the next 1 year. So it's going to be really great. And these 2 pro leagues were of course not free. The game design one was really expensive. It costed me around like 43k for the whole year, of course. And the sales one comes with a subscription, I think 3,000 to 4,000 per month, and it's a 3-month course. So basically it's going to cost around 10 or 12,000. And this is the power of documenting, right? Previous year I said that for the next year I'll be focusing on freelancing so that I can build an income stream, and I can really take advantage of opportunities whenever an opportunity comes my way. I don't have to reject it just because I don't have the money for it. And that's literally happening right now. Because I had the money, I was able to enroll in these pro leagues and get started on these 2 things. Otherwise it was just, I would have said, okay, I don't have the money for it, and this way I would have just left out opportunities all the way. So watch this clip. I'll play a clip from previous year. I think it was the episode The Journey 008, and in which I'm saying that for the next 1 year I'll be focusing on freelancing and building an income stream so that I can take advantage of opportunities, or it was something like that. And now it is literally happening. So watch this clip. So my current strategy is I will be focusing on freelancing, and right now I'm thinking that I should work hard on it for an year, and then I will be at a level where I can just work 3 to 4 hours a day on this thing, earn money which can fund me for whatever I want to do. So it's been a little above 1 year, actually, like 12 or 13 months. I think that video was of 18th August 2019 or something. But that's the power of documenting, right? I said it, did it, and now literally taking advantage of it. So when you ask me that what is the advantage of documenting or what value it provides, this is what it does. I literally have on record what was my plan, and now it's a reality. It's like what I thought was right, and now I'm able to take advantage of these opportunities and do different things, like bought this computer, enroll in pro leagues. I'm I'll be investing money in my agency, of course, hiring people and stuff. And that was only possible because I built an income stream. A lot of people were saying, yo, what you are doing is so basic, client services, do something innovative, do something world changing. I thought, okay, first let me get my finances right, then I'll move on to those things. And I ended up being right. So that's the power of documenting, and this is the first time it is happening, right? I don't think in any previous episode I have shared like a clip from previous episode and saying, okay, I said this and now this is literally happening. So this was a great moment, and I hope you like that clip. You should definitely watch that video, by the way, the journey 008. In that I've really explained why I started freelancing and what was my mindset behind it. So you can check that episode out. I'll link it in the I button and description or somewhere. And now let me see if there's anything which is left. Okay, yes. So because the client was on a break, like in August they were on a break, and then September was a very busy month for them, so they were not getting time for social media. I thought, let me just reach out to a lot of prospects and see if I can get another client. And then there was this question that, okay, if I get another client, then will I be able to manage two clients along with pro leagues, along with college stuff? If it arises, what will happen? So I thought, you know what, we are just sitting at home, let's just do it, let's do something. So I reached out to a lot of people, again, the same process I follow. I prospect them through different platforms like YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. I will not go into the details because I don't want to share the details, but I'll give you like an overview. I prospect basically through LinkedIn or YouTube or Instagram sometimes, and then I reach out to them using this cold email guide, which you can Google, which is Abhinav Arora's cold email guide. A lot of points are very helpful. There are templates. So that is the one which I use to reach out, and then basically you ask for a meeting, and then I think in the end, I prospect very carefully because I have to be sure that they can afford this service. So I think I reached out to 10 or 12 people, and 2 people responded back. And the first, response, the first response which I got, I really fucked up the entire thing. And that's why I said in the beginning of this episode, right? Like, I just know a little bit about sales. I'm not a pro kind of a thing. So, it's this thing that either you win or you learn. So I fucked up this entire thing. I did a lot of mistakes, wasn't able to respond properly to the objections, and then the whole thing basically just collapsed. But I learned maybe like 4 to 5 things that, okay, I have to fix this, 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 so that these things don't happen again. If let's say if clients ask some questions, then there should be the FAQ pages, the FAQ section on the website and stuff like that. 4 to 5 more things. So basically this is my mindset whenever something like this happens. Either you win or you learn. If you win, then of course everything is great, but if you lose, you learn a lot of things. In that little interaction on LinkedIn, it was not a meeting, it was just text. In the little interaction of 15 to 20 minutes, even though I wasn't able to sell them properly and I wasn't able to close the deal, but I learned 4 to 5 things which if I implement, the odds of me closing a deal next time will be higher. So this is what I kind of do. And the other thing is, you can take everything very personally. If you are doing these things and if you take everything very personally, and if you lose a sale, you are like, your mood is gone for like 4 to 5 days, you will just not be able to perform. So you have to treat everything like a game, so that you are always optimistic. If you lose a match in a mobile game, you don't care about it because it's a game. But when it's real life, when you are running a business, if you take everything very personally, you will be having anxiety and negativity all the time. So maybe you can go back and listen to the Journey 017 Optimism Required episode. I go deeper into this topic in that episode. Just you have to be optimistic, you have to treat it like a game. Otherwise, if you take things personally, it will, of course, you will feel bad for half an hour, but then you have to just get over it. That's kind of what I learned from this interaction. And the other response which I got, we are still in talks, so I haven't really closed them, like waiting for their response. So let's see what happens. I'll keep you posted on that side as well. And then what is the other thing? Okay, The last thing which I want to talk about in this episode is I bought the domain name for the agency, and fortunately I got the .com domain name. It's really hard, but because it was a generic name, there was no meaning to it. Maybe it was easy, but got the domain name. The website isn't up yet. I'll be getting someone to do that maybe next month or when there is a need. Currently there's just no need actually. So I hope I have covered everything. That's kind of what was going on. And a lot of people ask me, hey, why you go off of YouTube in between? So whenever things get monotonous, I just have no option but to create new episodes, because I can't just say this to you. Okay, I woke up, I ate my breakfast, then I did client work, then I did this, and then I slept. Whenever I am able to get like 8 to 9 things and then explain them, what I learned from them, and how these things are going, then I think I can create an episode. But when things are very monotonous, when the schedule is just like usual, there's just no option but to create no episode. So that was the reason, and maybe you will see this happening in future also. Whenever I'm not uploading any episode, just know that things are pretty monotonous. You might be saying, but you shared so many things, this doesn't seem monotonous. But because this was over the last 1.5 months, not like a week. From next week it's going to be a really crazy schedule, because the pro leagues are going to take time. Then I also have to do client work. I think they'll be back in October. That's what the little communication which I had with them in today in the morning implies. So let's see, it's going to be a crazy schedule. And that's it for this episode. Make sure if you are looking for a book, so you read this book, Your Next Spy Moves. It's really good, and you'll learn a lot from it. A lot of you who DM me just don't have enough clarity as to what you want to do in life and the correct strategy for it. So definitely read this book, you'll learn a lot from it. That's it for this episode, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.